it's noon, I think we can get started. So we are going to start with the Warren County Election Board. You have the information from you, just an announcement that this meeting is going to be recorded. There's not anything under the agenda for old business. Under new business, the first item there is to approve the minutes from the August 31st, 2022 meeting. Did I get a motion or?
So moved.
Well, that's okay, I'll second that. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. All right, great. And then in addition to that, are we also,
Just getting an update from Crystal, I think.
next we'll be getting an update from Crystal.
So we had a huge turnout. A lot of inactive voters reactivated themselves by just voting. I don't even know what the results of the turnout, I think it was like 60%.
61%.
61. So we had a lot of people and went pretty well, went well. We have 59 segregated ballots according to the pre-canvassing list that Solicitor Schmidt gave us. And we'll be looking at those on Monday to do a final count.
Great.
And that's all I have.
What's your normal turnout?
I'd have to
Yeah.
look into that for you.
Okay. I was wondering what the increase was.
I did want to get to that today, but haven't
I
looked.
did notice in your department report, the number of registered voters in Warren County is 26,569, up from 145 from September. So we are seeing an increase once again, people being interested in voicing their opinion by registering to vote. That's good news. All right, any other items for the board? All right, if not,
Move to
we'll-
adjourn.
Second, all those in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Now we'll move into the commissioners' meeting. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then a quick moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Few announcements here. First announcement is that this meeting will be recorded. And also, we have had one executive session since the last meeting, which was on Monday, and nothing to report as it relates to correspondence received or outgoing. Is there any public comment at this time? If not, we will move toward the consent agenda. And that would be first, the minutes of October 26, 2022. Just if there are any changes or modifications, the time is now to ask or make those recommendations. If not, we will move on to the finance report.
Yeah.
Lisa, could you share with us, please?
Yep. As of yesterday, we had $6,621,443 in our bank account. As you can see, the tax revenue has rolled in, and we have paid off any borrowing that we did related to operations. And also, we received our second payment for the American Rescue funding. So we have $7,303,678 in that account. We also will be receiving another two payments of almost $380,000. That will also go in that account. We are working diligently on the budget. I feel like we're about 90% done, but we have some refinement to do.
Thank you, Lisa. And then next item is the Human Resources Report.
Human Resources Report as of November 1st, 2022. New hires for the county include Adam McNeil, effective 10/3/22 at Human Services as a Human Services Administrator. April Barr, effective 10/17/22 in the Early Intervention Department as a Clerk Typist 2. Mark Falvo, effective 10/17/22 in the Court of Common Pleas as a judicial law clerk. Leslie Bailey, effective 10/24/22 at Domestic Relations as a deputy director. Changes include Alexander Geddes, effective 10/31/22. He went from part-time to full-time corrections officer at the jail. Separations from the county include Mark Lehman, effective 10/1/22, who was the sheriff's deputy in the sheriff's department. He is pension eligible. Megan Evans, effective 10/5/22. She was a corrections officer at the jail and she was not pension eligible. Kim O'Connor, effective 10/7/22, who was the deputy director at Domestic Relations and she is pension eligible. Allison Nolan, effective 10/11/22. She was a telecommunicator at Public Safety and she was not pension eligible. Peter Landrio, effective 10/12/22. He was a corrections officer at the jail and he was not pension eligible. And Jacob Westerberg, effective 10/26/22. He was also a corrections officer at the jail and he was not pension eligible.
Cool. Great.
So looks like we've had quite a few corrections officers leave. That said, there were vacancies, we did a big phase of pulling people in, and now some of those just kind of
Yes.
matriculating out, okay. So presumably we have some corrections officer slots open.
Yes.
Other than that, everything's pretty squared away right now, right? Even 911. Hallelujah.
Yep. So 911, I was reading your report. Emergency operations plan rewriting is complete. Looks like we've got one new part-time employee hired, and then 3 new 911 telecommunicators. We're starting in the academy, and 1 full-time trainee is 5 out of 6 months into the training academy.
She just resigned. But
Okay.
we're still in a much better place than we were.
The thing that struck me was sick people and breathing problems, 179. In terms of 911 EMS
Yeah,
calls,
number
that's-
79 calls.
That's pretty high, that's almost like COVID last year kind of levels.
Sure, there's been a wave recently, the last, I'd say, 3 weeks,
Yeah.
significant increase in sick people and respiratory problems.
Okay.
And of course, you noted that Youngsville Ambulance isn't available during daytime hours, nor is Clarendon or Pleasant. And I'm assuming they're working on a plan for that.
Right now, they currently work with Emergent Care.
Okay, Very
And they're
good.
covering them during the day, correct?
good, great, thank you. All right, next on the agenda is a proclamation, Zonta, say no to violence against women. Ben, could I ask you to read that for us, please?
Oh, sure. And I just,
Oh, goodness, it's very.
Jeff read it.
yeah, I can't, it's kind of hard to read.
Yeah, let me try this, I've got it in paper. Whereas the crime of violence against women and girls continues to be the most pervasive human rights violation and a global epidemic. According to the UN Women, as COVID-19 cases continue to strain health services, essential services like domestic violence shelters, helplines have reached capacity and more needs to be done to prioritize addressing violence against women. In COVID-19 response, more than 650 million women alive today were married as children, and 12 million girls are married before the age of 18 every year. According to the Global Report on Trafficking, the most common form of trafficking, 79%, is sexual exploitation. Zonta International is a leading global organization of professionals with more than 28,000 members in 62 countries, working together to make gender equality a worldwide reality for women and girls, and has contributed to help achieve a world free of violence against women and girls for more than 100 years. Now we therefore, the Commissioners of Warren County, proclaim November 25th, 2022 through December 10th, 2022, as Zonta says no to violence against women. Warren, Pennsylvania, and encourage all residents to prevent gender-based violence by educating the community on its harm, to advocate for survivors of gender-based violence, and to act in service on their behalf. I was an member of this organization for quite some time, and they do great things both nationally and internationally. So they really put their money where their mouth is as it relates to really trying to work with women and women's rights. No old business, new business. The first new business.
I move the consent agenda.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Ben motioned to move the consent agenda. I will second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. And now we'll move on to new business with the first resolution, 3230, Adoption Act of 57 of 2022. And so these are provisions of Act 57 requiring all tax collectors acting on behalf of the County of Warren to waive additional charges for real estate taxes provided the taxpayer complies with all of the requirements set forth. And it will become effective for the County of Warren on or after January 1st, 2023. I have a motion to adopt this resolution.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Discussion. All right, the next resolution is 3231. It's the resolution adopting the Warren County Emergency Operations Plan. Is there anything you would like to speak to in this, Ken, since you're here?
I would just like to say that I'm glad that we're finally done with the project, and just want to thank everybody on my team, MCM and Pam, for helping me with the EOP.
Great.
I move resolution 3231.
Okay, I second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye. Good job, guys.
Very good. And then we talked about in the work session, the approval of SBM Electronics Maintenance Agreement. This is for the software?
SBM maintenance on a recorder
Yes.
for voice, for radio and phone for the 911 center.
Now we move that agreement.
All right, the motion's been made. I will second that. Discussion, just to FYI the cost here for,
This is still a regional recorder, right? It's not just Warren County's.
Yeah, that's our portion of the regional project, yes.
Okay, good.
so, for 2023, the cost will be $9,183.33. I think you made an motion already.
Mm-hmm.
I second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, now we're gonna move on to government software service. This is for tax claim. And then I'm looking here to see that, I'm assuming this is for 2023. January 1. Yep, January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2025. And then the invoice at the beginning of each month will be $2,400. Do I have a motion to approve this agreement for computer services?
Each year, right?
Each year, that's correct.
I hope. That'd be a lot. That's not fair.
What's that now?
Say that again.
You said
Just-
a month, and
Yeah.
I just thought
It's
What's-
monthly.
So
$2,400 a month.
It's monthly,
that's what it says.
yeah. We currently pay $1,300.
Were we able to negotiate that down somewhat?
Yeah, so initially it was $3,000,
Okay,
and that was $1,000 for the tax collector module, $1,000 for the tax claim module, and then per capita and tax billing were each $500. But speaking with him at conference, I was able to talk him down to $900 for the tax claim and $900 for the tax collector,
That's your
$350 for per capita and $250 for tax billing.
And that's assessment.
So that's down to $2,400 as opposed to the $3,000
got it.
that initially proposed.
I see what you're saying, okay.
Yeah.
So what's in front of us is actually the modified agreement.
Yes. Yeah, so initially it was, so now it's gonna be 18 rather than 13.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about other companies that could do
Yeah.
this. And
Yeah, I sat down with some at conference and I didn't like how they were laid out. as opposed to this one.
This is the cost of doing business, I suppose.
Yeah, he hasn't raised prices in 20 years, which, again, it's not our fault, but, so,
You get the sense that rather than a 3-year, we could potentially do just a 1-year gap, even 18 months, and kind of reevaluate. I mean, I understand you need this passed now,
yeah.
but at the same time, 3 years is a long time for kind of expensive and subpar, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I know in the past, we've always done, I think, 3 years before, but,
My main thing is you said that we're gonna be updating the software in the coming months, years.
mid next year, I
If
hope.
that doesn't go well or something, then.
Yeah, there's some changes that are gonna be implemented sooner than later, so those will definitely help.
I guess what I'm just saying is, I'd hate to lock into something that if they launch a new version and it doesn't meet your needs or something,
Gotcha.
or you wanna use it as a leverage point. I mean, we've given up kind of all ability to negotiate if we're.
Yeah, I think we have some other options too that I want to speak with Lisa too regarding some changes possible.
So a suggestion was made to move the term from a 3-year agreement to, through December 31st of 2023.
Do you think that's okay? Maybe we'll have to vote on it again, probably.
Yeah,
At least it buys you a year.
Oh, yeah.
to reevaluate.
okay.
Do you need to go back to the vendor and talk to that person?
I would make the agreement for a year, give it to them, and then say, hey, this is where we're at.
So we can make a motion then
Yep.
to,
So I'll move to accept the GSS agreement for computer services with the term starting January 1 of 2023 to the end of 2023.
I'll second that motion. Comments, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Next item on the agenda is a repository tax bid. There's just one. I see here, it's tax parcel WN 868-684-1800. Current owner is William White et al. It is 0.02 acres on Anchor Street. And the bidder is Jessica Filliger, with the bid amount being $300. Could I get a motion
So
to
moved.
approve that?
So moved.
Started that from Commissioner Cafferland, I'll second that. Any questions? All those in favor then signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. And the next item on the agenda, approval of the Homeland Security Grant Program for fiscal year 2022. This relates to FEMA. Do you want to speak a little bit to this for us?
So this is a reoccurring grant. We get this every year, and every county gets this every year and signs onto it. It funds special response groups that we have. It bought the F-250 that we have at DPS, the new boat that's sitting at Warren Fire Department, a lot of Glades water rescue equipment. So it funds our special teams. I sit on the board of that particular group, so.
And so this award is $306,111. Very good.
I move the HSGP grant agreement.
Okay, I will second that. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and the next one is momentum workflow. Now, we talked about we have a bid here, but we talked about having them come and present to those of us that hadn't seen the process.
Right, so I move to table momentum
Yeah,
workflow agreement.
we'll go ahead and I'll second that. So motion is second to table the momentum workflow agreement approval process. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. All right, and then lastly, any commissioners' comments? I just highlighted some of the department reports. Looks like Mackin Engineering has presented some concepts for the Farm Colony Ball Field, as reported by Dan Glotz. It looks like our Deputy Director zoning permits were issued 13 in the month of October, and there's 7 pending. with year-to-date, 211 issued, and that's down a little bit from last year, 248. Which makes sense. We talked a little bit about the ops plan and the staffing and ambulance service, and then as far as stats go for tax claim bureau, receipts in October 2022 were 189 compared to 143 of last year. So those are up.
The only comment I had was we're doing a little time management coaching class, mostly with people related to the finance administration department. But I just wanted to publicly praise the employees that have been coming to our regular classes, and Tina, Lisa, Kaylin, and several others. I'm just very pleased with their progress and attentiveness, and this is, I guess, one of the many opportunities I have to kind of publicly thank you all for voluntarily trying to improve both yourselves and the county. So thank you.
Great.
I would echo the commissioner's thanks about to all the election staff. When we had a very orderly day yesterday. I foresee a orderly conclusion to everything early next week.
And I think for the most part, the voters there did their part. We had, there were very few ballots that we couldn't, consider using the Supreme Court to be considered to be voted. So I think that's pretty phenomenal. Actually, I expected a lot more concerns and problems, and it went very smoothly, all things considered.
2 years ago, I think there was 300 such ballots, and yesterday there was 58.
But yeah, 57. We had a less than 2% error rate.
So, great. Well, if there's nothing else to be brought before the Board of Commissioners, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. So move. Second on my part. All those indicate in favor by saying aye.
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 Thank you, Jeff, for phoning in. Hope you're feeling better.
I'm working on it.
Okay. All right. Meeting adjourned.
Toodles.